Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS, this one titled Fate Overturned. I am one of your delightful hosts today, Noodle or Pasta or Udon, or whichever variation thereof you are feeling like today. And I am joined by the wonderful.
Hi, my name's Avi, and I will be playing the horrible detective stink man Shiro Azumi. Yeah.
And speaking of that detective and, well, who he's going to be meeting, because these two do need to talk again. Azumi's had a case given to him recently,
Indeed.
which is probably an unusual one. I myself don't totally know what specific sort of cases he's worked on, but there's definitely been a murder or two. But this might be the first where the corpse has gotten up and walked away of its own volition. So how's he thinking on that one? How's he feeling?
There are many thoughts about this that he has. uh, but it's fine. He's whatever thoughts he's having about this, he has put them aside for now because the supposed walking corpse he is trying to find is somebody he's met once before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that meeting sure went.
It
It
went.
sure went.
It went.
Yeah, and once again, that person has been spotted around Town, and let's get the first roll going. How about you roll me some investigation?
Oh, you're asking a detective to
Yep,
investigate.
I know this is gonna be a big number. Just for big numbers, because of fun, why not?
That's a modified 20.
Good. Fantastic. Wonderful. Yep, Azumi is definitely able to find out that more than just rumors of Jubilee being back in Town, he has been spotted multiple places, noticeably the Painted Lady again. And another place a little closer to the outskirts of Town, particularly tonight. One bar that's known a bit for having a few pool tables and tournaments there. No tournament tonight, but some people have talked about, oh, not quite a hobo anymore. But he's definitely been annoying.
Yeah, no, he has made it a point to, get there tonight, especially if, if said, individual is still there, and frequents this place. He is going to try and, like, get there, keep an eye out, and see if he can, spot him.
All right. Let's have perception then. As Azumi knows where to find this place, but see if he can spot if someone's there.
Yeah. That's another modified 20.
Yeah, feeling like 20s tonight.
I guess you
Yeah.
could. I guess you could say he's got 20/20 vision.
But and I'm not looking at the gallery. I'm assuming there's tomatoes being thrown.
No, don't worry. I'm
Pun.
getting throttled. Don't worry about it. Oh, there's the tomato.
But it's easy to walk in, and the place is smoky and dimly lit. It's pretty stereotypical kind of dive bar. But fortunately for Azumi, and perhaps unfortunately for the man himself, Jubilee is very tall, and it is very distinctive. With his height, he is currently over by one of the pool tables with a few other people who, even without needing to roll insight, you can tell these people seem kind of agitated, while Jubilee himself looks quite pleased.
Uh, I think he can immediately put together what Jubilee is doing.
Can he? I wonder. What could he possibly be doing? He's just playing a game of pool. It's great. It's fine. It's good. Just a beanpole. Totally. It's just his personality. That's why they're annoyed with him. But with all the pieces in play, what does Azumi do?
I think he is going. Sorry, I was imagining this play out in my head, and for some reason my brain just did the target spotted thing. And that threw me off, and I was like, "You're really going to do this now? Okay."
Well, I suppose immediately Azumi chooses violence. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, that's about how I assumed it would go.
He puts on a his best smile, and he's going to approach the table. He's going to do it from behind Juby because of course he is the fucker. And he gives a bright smile and he says, "You happen to have time for another game?"
Let's have rolled some perception just to see how, if Jubilee is surprised. That's a 12. Could be worse. He's not surprised. But unlike the last time, he does not practically jump out of his line work. He does not jump. Turns on his heel and... Here we go. This is Jubilee's thing. Of course, he is constantly rolling this. That's a nat 1! Fitting! For whoever he was considering might be there, it's easy to tell, Azumi, he did not expect you. At all. And his eyebrows shoot up in obvious surprise as some of the people who were gathered there kind of start to walk away, either because of frustration or probably being less than savory types who don't want to be in the presence of a detective.
He's used to it. It's fine. But he's still smiling at Jubilee as he waits for an answer.
Juby collects himself after a moment and just... Well, I suppose I could do one more game.
Wonderful.
There is money on the line, of course.
All right. Certainly.
And steps back a little bit to start collecting the balls from the pockets and to reset the game of pool. And let's see. Do you recover at least a little bit, my boy? Yeah, you do. From a 9 to a 23. I think he recovers a little bit.
Yeah. Gently pats. And he does take a cue stick from somewhere. It's been a while since I've been in a place like this, but he gets one of the cue stick. Uh,
Somewhere it's nearby. We're gonna just hand wave and say it's all very conveniently located because this is the capital P pool bar. This is where we go. This is the setting place. Everyone has these. Yeah, definitely.
and as he like waits for Jubilee to finish setting up, he goes, "Do you mind if I strike up conversation? Oh, in the middle of this?"
Well, playing silently would be a bit awkward, so go ahead and talk away. I'm not going to stop you.
Hmm.
He gets everything set and considers Azumi for a moment and looks at the balls that have been set up in the triangle for the starting move. Do you want to, or shall I?
I did not think this far ahead. I'm gonna roll a d2.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you?
Fair enough. And as he does line up a shot and consider things, he does hum to himself a little bit, thinking, so I'm not going to be an idiot and assume that you're just here for the pleasure of my company. And he strikes the ball.
Of course not. I happen to be looking for a certain runaway corpse.
Oh, are you? Hmm. That's a funny way of putting it.
Oh. I mean, I seem to have found the person, but I'm not sure if corpse is the right word for it anymore.
You can get technical. I mean, well, corpse is implying that it's dead, and, well, I most certainly don't believe I am anymore.
No. Not only that, you seem to have gone through, a redesign, is it called?
Yeah, that's it. Impressed you know. Not, I mean, impressed that you know that I have. I mean, it's a bit obvious. Bit obvious that would be setting the bar incredibly low. And while I admit I'm not exactly a fan, I don't think you're an idiot.
No. Mm-hmm. If it's his turn, he's going to take a moment to line up his own shot. There is like no insight needed. You can tell that uh um he has quite a bit of experience playing this game.
Hmm. Interesting, interesting.
Yeah, and as he prepares his own shot, um he says, "If I may be so bold to be completely honest, I have no interest in turning you in."
Well, I suppose that's a relief. I don't know why anyone would want to. You go to jail for just walking away from being dead. Is that a thing?
No, but some people seem to be of the belief that you are the one behind the explosion.
You want to roll me some insight?
Yes! Don't mind if I do. Oh, that is a pretty high roll.
That is a high roll.
Oh, my boy. That was a 17.
17. Yeah. He's definitely hard to read. He's still very hard to read. But with a 17, you definitely do see him flinch as he steps up to take his turn after yours, Azumi, and is more focused on the game than he was before. Just a bit. Well, yeah, there are quite a few stories in the papers blaming me for that all, aren't there? Of course, that's one side of the story. You do have your big bad villain who completely lost it and blew up an entire town. Yeah, that's the narrative they're going for. And as he lines up a shot, it's... Roll insight again.
Don't mind if I do.
This is for something else, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I put my head in hands. He got a nat 20.
This is what he gets the nat 20 on? Okay, this is fine.
It happens like this happened before in a different game, I'm pretty sure.
Well, this is funny, but it makes sense. Azumi knows how to play pool. Has clearly played a few times. And he can tell that with the shot, the way that Juby hits it, it was done on purpose to set up a bad shot for himself next turn. Which seems it's a little off because it's done well. It's done really well. But it makes it so it's going to have a really hard time with his next turn. And he steps back from the table again and kind of leans on his cue, hemming and hawing a bit, seeming like he's trying to figure out what he's gonna do, but no, you know he already knows.
Villain, Who exactly are you trying to fool?
I haven't the faintest clue what you mean.
Oh, believe me, I couldn't care less what the press would think. They're all sheep, I suppose you could say.
One way of putting it.
But you have a point. There is only one side to the story.
Do you actually want to listen? I mean, I can tell you. I could tell you everything as far as I remember how it went down, but, well, I used to say that I'm not lying to cover my own arse.
Can you lie to a reflection, Jubilee Yukon?
Oh boy. That is a question, isn't it? Yep. He doesn't move. His grin widens a bit. Can you, Shiro Azumi?
Can you roll a quick insight?
Yeah. Let's see. I always forget it. It's +5. There we go.
Oof.
He is not very insightful here.
Oh, damn it.
Not this time. We don't know. Unless we argue maybe advantage this once.
I'm gonna argue the advantage because this is like something that you could potentially like easily pick up on.
Maybe. The similar... No, the dice
No!
say
I look
Jubilee
away!
does
I
not.
look away! I look away!
For goodness sake, Dice Parser. Hey, Dice Parser, please. I know it's funny when Juby lies, but let him perceive things. Maybe.
Oh my
No,
god!
Dice Parser says no.
All right, you know what? Fuck it. Is your passive like a 15?
Yes, it is. It is a 15 exactly.
Fuck it. Fuck it.
We're just gonna roll with this.
Yeah, your passive is a 15.
Sometimes we rattle Dice Parser because Dice Parser chooses a violence, and he would be passively. We're just gonna roll with passive insight for him because he's not gonna be actively trying to suss out anything with Azumi. He's just keeping an eye on him and kind of watching as he goes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Jubilee, uh, you've met this man before. You've seen what hand he uses to fire a gun with. The last time you met, he used his left hand. He is playing billiards with his right.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. He does cock his head to the side a little bit, watching this. Hmm. So I am getting stuff. Hold up.
Oh.
I need 2 seconds. Oh my god, I'm being interrupted. I'm so sorry.
No, you're
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Technical difficulties.
How's it going, gallery? Like you're putting them both in the pickle jar, like Lilo and Stitch.
I am so sorry.
No, you're fine.
I think my brother forgot I'm recording and just ran down the stairs and was yelling by the door. Oh my god.
No, you're fine. The amount of times that happens in my case, you are so valid. But apparently, Juby and Azumi are getting the Lilo and Stitch pickle jar situation at them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right.
Yeah. So you just noticed that Azumi is playing billiards with his non-dominant hand. How you doing?
Yeah. Juby's actually... He notices this. And he kind of laughs. Like, doesn't hide it. He just chuckles at that. So are you doing that on purpose to play into the mirror thing, or are you trying to fool me?
I could ask you the same question. You did, after all, try to fool me as well. A bad setup. Who are you trying to fool?
Am I fooling you, or am I telling a story?
Ah, I see.
I mean, sure, there's plenty of ways that could say something, could be honest, could use words. Been told I'm particularly good with those. That's, well, more than one way to get information, isn't there?
Of course.
And if it is his turn, Jubilee does follow up with that same shot. He doesn't change it at all. He could have. He's been called out. But he keeps following that, and the next shot happens, and it actually puts the ball that he called, into a corner. Almost. Not a corner pocket, but trapped between a few others. Where that is. Honestly, it looks like an amateur move. It looks like he just completely whiffed what he should have done. But he leans back and gestures for Azumi to take his turn.
I'm trying to decide what he wants to say because he's giving me two vibes at the exact same time. So I'm like trying to like think, like, please,
Fitting.
boy.
Understandable and fitting.
Hmm.
Is.
I have to admit, this is rather nostalgic. Not the first time I've had a conversation like this over billiards.
Hmm. You've met other people who've come back from the dead. Aw. Well, that's a shame. Here I was hoping I was special. Aw.
He gives you a look with a raised brow, like, are you serious?
He just grins. He's obviously just being a prick.
Sighs and rolls his eyes.
No, but do carry on. This sounds like a story.
Hmm.
Why not? Is it another interrogation, or is
No.
this just for fun? You don't seem the sort to have much fun, let's be honest.
If I remember right, the conversation had been a comparison between the game and a theoretical perfect crime.
Hmm.
You can never hit the ball directly in order to win the game. You must take indirect actions, but with precision.
Hmm.
But in the process, you tend to strike unintended objects. So, Yukon, tell me a story.
Very well. Where do I start? He kind of settles back on his heels, thinking a bit, and seems to debate it in his head, back and forth. Can roll some insight if you'd like.
He already got his nat 20 this game. I doubt he's gonna get anything better.
Let's see.
I mean, that's not bad. You said insight?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, this is definitely not that bad.
No, that's not bad at all. That's a 24. That's pretty good.
Shakes this boy.
Yeah. No, he can tell. Probably because it seems a bit familiar. Like he's debating whether or not to put on a persona in the moment. There's times where he seems to be leaning more towards much like what you saw when you two were talking on the train tracks. That very wry and trying to be larger than life sort of person that he presented himself as, even if you could see through those many cracks. And then there's someone else that's there who you can see in the way that he fidgets with the end of the pool cue, getting the chalk all over his fingers and seeming a bit annoyed for a second, but more thoughtful over things. Where he finally seems to settle on the latter person as kind of the face that he should be putting forward. So, do you want the long version or the short version of the story?
He pauses and considers the question, and he says, "Dude, what do you say?"
What does he say?
Holds him.
There's many thinky thoughts here. There's many things he could say.
Yeah. The long version. Don't spare any details.
Yeah, I figured you'd pick that one. Well, the long version is... I went to Paradise after speaking with you, because much to my dismay, you left me with things to think about. And oh, so ironic was the fact that I may have been heading beyond there to deal with such things. But while I was there, some people and he pauses a second and furrows his brows, and you can roll insight again.
Alright, here we go.
Definitely not a high DC, but yeah, of course, that's another dirty 20.
Three of these so far.
That's pretty good. You can tell he's fumbling for a minute with his words. Like, there's a detail that he wants to add, but he can't find the words. Like, there's something he should say, but he almost doesn't know it. Before he shakes his head and kind of moves on. There were goons about the place. Wouldn't think much of them, but I ran across them in my path. And in a bit of irony, or the plot simply deciding to peck me in particular, they hadn't forgotten a certain promise they'd made. Now, I mean, you don't need to hear that sob story. That's not relevant. Somehow they knew I was carrying a large quantity of TNT. Not for use on the town. Stars, no. Paradise had been nothing but kind to me in the past. I did like those people. It was a good place. But of course these bastards didn't care anything at all about that, no. They just wanted their explosives and thought, why not? This guy has them. We pushed him around in the past and got exactly what we wanted. He's just a scared kid. He won't do anything. He doesn't have anyone to hide behind now. And I tried. Didn't exactly stop anything. So once they got a hold of some of it, I don't know why I handed it over. Doesn't make sense. Regardless, they got some of it. They thought they would blow up one of the stores, just light a stick of it and just toss it carelessly because, it's not like people live here. Or there's lives to worry about. No, it's just fine. Ugh. So well, I'll spare you the details of how I lost. I couldn't stop things. And so paradise was blown up and I was left in the rubble. And there's your story of your corpse.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Azumi's passive insight is a ridiculous 23.
Mm-hmm.
At any point, was there a lie said?
Not one.
Not one.
Nope.
Okay.
That whole time he may have been here and there about things, and there's definitely details missing in that story. But from all Azumi can see and how he can read this guy, Jubilee has been telling nothing but the truth as he recalls.
Mm. I think he's quiet for a moment. And he says, as he like takes in this tale and he considers it, and it really is a lot different than what he's heard.
Mm-hmm. There's details that line up.
And there
Certainly
are
details that line up, but
yeah.
this is a very different account.
And there's a moment as he watches the like if it's his turn, he like looks over the current setup of where the balls are and like what move to play.
Mm-hmm.
But when he finally speaks again, it's a different tone than what you're used to hearing from him. It's kind of quiet. He says, certainly one side of the story, yes. A word of advice, Yukon.
I'm listening.
Regardless of what others think, you are the one that knows your own truth. Whether or not you did it won't matter to anyone else. The best you can do now is to move forward and do better. And he finally takes his shot.
Juby doesn't move for a minute or two. It's his turn, clearly, and he could keep playing, but he is keeping a very close eye on Azumi right now. Kind of tapping his foot a bit as he thinks. Eyebrows furrowed, just going over what was said.
If you want to roll insight, you can.
Yeah.
Or we can go based off your passive again.
Let's go with the passive because Dice Parser's been bullying him. We're just gonna keep going with the 15. We'll just say the 15 works. 15's nice.
15's nice, and so far Azumi isn't rolling deception yet.
Mm-hmm. Yet.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't looked up at you or in your direction since he finished saying what he said. In fact, he's still looking over the table still. But either by knowing a reflection or having spoken to this individual for as long as you have, you notice that there is a certain kind of weight on Azumi's shoulders. Like he's also been doing some thinking, either by what was discussed during your last conversation with him, or between the last time you met him and now.
So is that something you've been thinking on, or is that something you've wanted to hear? Honestly, could be a bit of both now that I've said it, but...
Let's go with both.
Huh. You know, normally I'd just push that off, but considering, well, much as I don't like mirrors, and he steps up to the table, and this time there is a change in how he lines up the shot and how he's standing. Well, means that I have to lend some credence to it because you get it. And as he takes his shot, it's not one of those that were clearly faked or having some other purpose. It strikes true and does sink a ball into one of the pockets with considerable skill. So, oh my god, why are we tapping at the door, please?
Do you need to, like, step away again?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, sinks the ball, considerable skill.
Yeah.
I think that's all he says for the moment.
Yeah, and I'm like trying to think of how Azumi responds. And he says, "Do you find it difficult to ask for help?"
More like, find it difficult to find people to ask. I mean, really, who else is going to understand it? Who else is going to take your word? When the world's painted you as the bad guy, when you believed yourself to be the bad guy or have done something you can't be forgiven for, something you can't forgive yourself for. I mean, I'd like it. I've found some people now, and well, I mean, one of them I didn't expect, honestly. I couldn't exactly turn down the help, because that would mean staying dead. I do like being alive. Being dead has been bad.
A terrible experience all around.
Yeah, I think I'd know. Done it twice. Don't plan to do it a third time. Thank you. No. He laugh a bit, and again with Azumi's passive insight, it's not just that he's like making a joke or something. He's honest about that one.
Oh,
too.
goodness.
Yeah, the done it twice thing. Yeah. And there's a strange amount of ease to it, which is probably odd considering people don't come back from the dead. Not often.
Yeah.
If he recalls, too, during their last conversation, when Azumi did admit that he himself had died, Jubilee had been very almost dismissive about it, said, "Welcome to the club." So this isn't a new thing.
Yeah, and he. There's like something of a smirk on his face, but like it quickly disappears as he considers again what he was just told, and eventually he shrugs and says, seems that somebody is taking a liking towards you. Or is it something different?
Well, for this one, I'd say it's a liking. I certainly hope it is. Otherwise, I made a terrible deal. But like to think I can trust this one. Just a bit. I mean, there was something with the deal that, realizing now may have caused issues, perhaps? There's something with it, not had to give something up to get this in return, but probably wasn't very big. I mean, I'd like to think I'm smart enough to not take a bad deal. And what's Azumi's passive perception?
Same as his passive insight. It is a 23.
Yeah, there's a noticeable thing at his hip, which is a gold chain, particularly the sort for a pocket watch, that seems, it is part of his design, but it seems a little nicer than the rest of it. There's something a little more to it. He kind of shifts his weight, particularly when he says that, not even really thinking about it, but just as if he's remembering that it's there. So I'd like to think I got more than I lost out of that. Fair bit. As for the first time, well, couldn't tell you. I know it happened, and I remember. Well, I thought I just woke up. But I suppose it was a little more than just waking up. That one, don't remember the in-between. I mean, fitting it was years ago.
I wouldn't be able to tell you either way. I've never really liked those sorts.
Those sorts?
He kind of just raises a brow at you and says bluntly, "Gods."
Ah. Look, deities aren't the only ones that can bring you back. There are clerics and such. It's a fair question. But
No,
you're not the first person to tell me they're not a fan of the gods. May not share that opinion. Not for all of them. But I'm not going to blame you. They are pricks. Some of them most certainly do not deserve the power that they wield. Some of them. You'd think that they would be more involved with those of us down here. People who'd believe in them. And you'd think they'd reward that faith with something. But it is few and far between.
Well, I have to admit that the deities of Ankwell, at least, seem nicer. But, well, forgive me for being hesitant for when it comes to getting involved.
I can't blame you, honestly. As said, well, until recently, gods never did anything good for me. Honestly, I'd have rather they intervened a bit sooner. Whether it be the almighty lot, whatever it has in store for everything. Seems like misfortune. If that had some kind of deal or something, well, heck that.
You're rather ridiculous, you know that.
So I've been told. So I have been told. Only this time I'm not going to assume it's a compliment.
Well, it wasn't exactly an insult either. It was more of an observation. If you want to make the most of this, what is it, your third chance?
Yeah, I suppose.
If you want to make the most of it, then, well, God or not, you can't wait around for somebody else.
No, I've got to make my own story now, don't I? He is smiling a bit fondly at those words, recalling the last person who said them. Yeah, no, I'm not going to just wait around for something big to happen. Heck no, I tried that. That didn't work. That led to, what got me into this whole mess. So, no, I think I'll take my fate into my own hands now. And yourself? Are you heeding that same advice, or are you waiting on anything? Doesn't exactly have to be a god that you're waiting on.
I'd like to think that I am trying to take my fate in my own hands, but uncertainty is a poison, I suppose you could say.
And cocks an eyebrow a bit. You could. But given... Honestly, nothing is certain. They do say death and taxes, but, well, I mean, I haven't paid taxes ever.
I don't think you should be telling a detective that.
I mean, what are they going to charge me with? Technically, legally, I ought to still count as dead. So, unless you're going to charge the dead with taxes, ugh, you might have a bit of trouble with that one.
I think he actually does laugh at that.
Jubilee seems quite pleased with himself. And I'm certain the both of us had figured out that death isn't a certainty either. So, nothing in this world is certain, and with that much uncertainty, well, have to take what comes. Have to do your best and figure it out as you go. Otherwise, you'll be stuck trying to assume what will be certain and what you can predict, and oftentimes you will be wrong.
Indeed. He looks thoughtful for a moment before he takes his next shot. And he kind of pauses before he looks back up at you. And he says, "Might I be so bold to offer a proposition?"
I'm always willing to listen to a deal.
Well, we both already know that we unfortunately have quite a bit in common, but it doesn't change the fact that we are trying to move forward. So, why not move forward together? If I stagger, you drag me on, and if you stagger, I will do the same.
Kinda raises an eyebrow. So basically, you're offering me the chance to kick your ass if I notice you're slipping.
If that's how you want to put it.
Well, I mean, that's the way that I'd have fun.
I hope you understand that this is mutual.
Oh, yes. No, I'm fully aware, but also you'd have to get in line. Look, I'm certain there's a child with a soccer ball that's going to bean me with it if I do anything stupid. Ugh. Still need to talk to that kid. And then he pauses a minute, realizing what he rambled about, and then frowns a bit. Have you seen that kid anywhere? I mean, I've been in and out of Villestown. I think with how quick he found me the last few times I was here. Since that, I haven't seen hide nor hair of him. Is he on a case?
I was going to ask you that.
Wait, what?
He
No. I haven't seen him.
He pauses and looks very he kind of like he kind of looks very surprised by this. Because like you said, he thinks Camille might have like at least tried to reach out to Jubilee, but like there's a moment where like he's looking at the table but he's not really like seeing it as he thinks, and he says, "The last I heard from him, he had mentioned that somebody was staying at his apartment, and I went to visit to drop off groceries, but I did run into the individual he is letting stay at his home, but that individual hadn't seen him the whole day."
So he has. When did this happen? And there's a very serious turn to his posture, and he does set aside the pool cue because you can assume whatever pretense he started this game under has been dropped.
Yeah, no, like Azumi's also like putting the cue stick down. And
No, when did that happen? Because no, he's supposed to stop the Phantom L heists, and he wasn't on that heist. However long ago that was.
that one, I think that last one he was sick, but after that, this was recent. This was just, I just assumed that he had been in school, but he pauses and he goes, if anybody knows, it might be Detective Moria.
That's disconcerting. He hasn't been in. He hasn't been anywhere. Heck, I ought to ask Leo. Leo might know. No, he wouldn't. I've been around Leo. And yeah, no, I'm not even gonna roll. He is concerned enough that he's not trying to hide it. As part Ghibli and Toon, there is very much a shadow that is coming over his face as the realization that Azumi hasn't seen Camille is definitely sinking in. As before it was just, oh, I'm probably being avoided, or the kid has more interesting detective things to be doing, or is actually just doing kid things for once. He's got a sinking feeling in his gut. And that is very obviously being shown. So I know where that agency is. Heck. It's just a kid. It can't know. I'm just paranoid. I'm just paranoid. It can't be.
He's just a kid who solves murders. We both
What?
know. You never tell you. Oh, never mind. The point is, the boy has a.
No, he tried to walk into traffic. He didn't tell me he solves murders.
Sorry, that's me, Avi. Or I get hair in my mouth. Bleh. The point is, the boy has a terrible tendency to get into things. Why are we still here?
No, we need to go.
Yes.
Now, yes. Oh, Peck.
And both of them are going, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And funny enough, that's probably a perfect place to end it. As they rush out the doors, going to storm Moria's office.
Oh, goodness. And yeah. There's definitely a lot going here, and oh goodness, the dread is just palpable. And thank you, Noodle, for playing with me.
Thank you, Avi. Hey, they finally got to talk. Look, things are great.
We sure talked, huh, guys? Hi. Sorry, somebody just joined the audience. I love you guys.
Yeah. But with that, our recording can come to a close soon here. Dear listeners, we'll see more of these two soon. But I bid you all a very good time zone. And thank you for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye bye!